Hi guys and welcome to Bomb Anime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Salmon here bringing you episode 14 of Platinum End.
Why didn't God heal Mukaido or at least suspend his illness until the end of this God candidacy? It's really not fair to have someone as a God candidate that's going to die from natural causes before they even have a chance to actually become God. Like, what is the point of allowing him to be here if you're going to give him no chance whatsoever?
How dare you question the whims of God? Listen, pure mortal. This is God's whims, God's plan.
Okay, so this little boy is obviously a God candidate.
Maybe.
So
maybe they introduce something else. It's looking likely, but what if they do? What if they just turn it on its head? I don't know.
Well, I suspected him as a God candidate from last week.
Yeah, I agree.
But in all honesty, I forgot to say anything really about him. But just because of the way he was acting with the TV, and he didn't seem to be under the control of Metropoliman. Also, Metropoliman had been hit with a red arrow that we now know, so it must have come from somewhere. I'm guessing it came from this little boy. And also the way he acted was really messed up. So of course, I feel he's actually going to be worse than Metropoliman.
I can co-sign that. I think he'll be worse than Metropoliman.
I mean, like, he paired with Metropoliman and he seems to have his own free will and he's that small, so, you know, he's got to be, in the words of Big Boy Sama, tapped. And now I think that all of the arrows and wings that Metropoliman accumulated is going to this little mini psycho.
I wonder who his angel is.
I wonder where the other 4 God candidates that we haven't heard of yet, because there are still 4 knocking about. If this boy is a God candidate, there's 4 that we haven't met. If he's not a God candidate, which is unlikely, there's 5 that we haven't met.
Maybe they're just chilling and enjoying the lives of wings and arrows like normal people would. I'd become super rich.
Well, yeah, I guess they could be doing that. Staying out of the fight does seem like the smartest thing to do. Stay far away, let everybody kill themselves, and then come in. Exactly.
I just want to say, hold out, my boy Mukaido. He did the most. He smashed it, and I was happy for the outcome that he got. Because if you are going to go down before the end of the God candidacy nonsense, this is how you're going to go down. He went down well, he went down fighting, and he went down showering bullets at a guy who threatened his family, who ordered someone to rip up his daughter's wedding dress and all sorts. Bruv, he deserved this, and I'm so glad that Mirai's BS didn't jump in the way or interfere with what Mukaido had to do. Because if it had, I would have been so p***ed off, I'm not going to lie. Because, yes, I like Metropoliman, but man deserved this, fam. He deserved it.
Mukaido did not deserve this. He did not get to say goodbye to his family. His daughter is going to wake up and her dad is no longer going to be here.
Ugh.
The last things that he left for her that she was going to get after he had passed away have been destroyed.
Ugh.
Her dad doesn't even look the way that he looked when he was alive, so the mom is not even going to be able to show that daughter his face. His wife had to see him in that state. And they just got no closure whatsoever.
I guess what you're saying is the least that you could do was peppering up Metropoliman. The very least.
Yes, I just feel like it's so sad that Mukaido went out like this. It's such a shame because he loved his family so much. He just wanted them to be okay. And in the end, what family could be happy with that outcome?
Yeah, there was no love there, fam. I mean, there was just no joy there. There's no happy endings in that situation. I mean, like the doctor said, it looked like he was clinging on for life for some reason, innit? So he did the most. Barry said it. He went down happy, but how happy can you be?
I want to quickly talk about Mirai.
Okay.
How comes the red arrow didn't work when Mukaido told him to kill Metropoliman, but it somehow works when Mukaido basically says, hold him down and let me do it? To me, I feel like the word of the day is responsibility. Mukaido said at the last minute, this would make me happy, and Also, he was told, you didn't do this, and this isn't you don't have to have the responsibility, and suddenly it was okay. I feel like it's because he could throw away the responsibility a bit onto others and basically say, like, you know, it's not my fault, I didn't really have any part in it, but now he still feels guilty.
So, we had a comment, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, someone who was telling us and trying to explain to us why it works this way and telling us that we should drop this anime because we hate it and this, that and the other. Like, we respect this comment because at the end of the day, it did sound like we kind of hated the anime. And for all intents and purposes, because of certain things in the episode, we did. Well, that comment made me go back and watch a few things in a few of the past episodes to kind of gain more gleaming. Because obviously when I watch an anime personally, and this is me, Big Boy Sama, I do my best not to read the source material so that I can focus on critiquing the anime, because we're called bomb anime. But alright, so I went back a bit, and so the very first time he used his arrow was on his auntie, and she killed herself because Nasse said something like she has created such a great offense that it was well within the arrow's power to kill herself, but the arrow won't normally let you kill yourself, and this, that and the other. And so I was looking at all the other instances of red arrows and whatnot, and it's actually been niggling, slowly showing how certain people from the beginning have gone against the arrow. The arrow doesn't give you complete hypnosis. The arrow just makes it tend towards it, but you have some level of autonomy all throughout the episode, and it's been very subtle and slowly growing, and I think it reached its climax with Mirai after Hajime. But even Hajime himself, as we talked about before, was the closest to getting completely away from the power of the arrow. So they have been consistent on some scale, but the criteria hasn't been solid. So there's consistency without a solid foundation, and I think that was what is peeing me off about the red arrow situation in the first place. So the commenter was right to an extent, but we are also right in the sense that we don't like the inconsistencies because you haven't explained the foundation for it. So my issue is, just like what Ruka said, the shift in Mirai's mentality of responsibility is probably his reason, but it could be a case where every single person has their own individual reasons and boundaries upon which the red arrow will work or not. And that's based on me going back and looking at most of the instances of when the red arrow was used. So I feel that is the situation here.
That's why I'm saying that Mukaido saying the word happiness coupled with taking away the responsibility is what allowed him to hold down Metropoliman to the point where he was shot with so many bullets that his body ended up in multiple pieces. Wow. Multiple pieces. He was beheaded.
Justice.
Which makes me not like Mirai. More like it's kind of like, okay, you're really secretly okay with murder as long as you can say it's not your fault, even if it is. You held him down. Mukaido, look how long it took Mukaido to drag himself and his gun close enough to the scene. And on top of that, Metropoliman literally begged for his life. He said, I'll change my ways. I'll give you what you want. If you want money, I'll give you money. I have everything. I'm only doing this because I just want to see my dead sister that I accidentally killed. Like, please, I beg you, help me. Someone help me. Like, don't let him do this. But you still were able to hold him down to be murdered. To me, that doesn't take away your responsibility. You're still very much involved in murdering somebody, because if it was not for you holding him down, he would not have been murdered. He would have been able to fly away and escape. So I want for Mirai to fully take the responsibility for this murder that he helped to commit.
So it's a weird one. I'm not going to go into the philosophies of the law about this situation, but what I'm saying is Ruka's absolutely correct. It was the burden of responsibility that shifted in Mirai's head that allows the arrow to take effect. So it's an individual basis because Hajime's individual basis was his conflict between him and his love for Saki and his love for Metropoliman, and there's so many other things and nuances. And as I kept going back through it, I was like, oh my god, this all makes sense. So hold tight, my guy. That made me have to go back and do some research about it. Mirai has got some growing to do, and I hope this helps him out and turns him into a better character.
You say that every episode. Every episode.
With more conviction and strength. And Nasse is the best girl for 2022. Like, she's going on the list.
Oh my gosh, Nasse for the win.
Nasse is amazing as an angel, and she does nothing but love this poor idiot. So, yeah.
I'm okay with not liking Mirai and his character because I feel like everything else that's going on is enough to uphold this anime. Yeah. And I don't like him because I don't like characters like this. I don't like characters with a high sense of morality because it's not sustainable. Not saying that I'm here for the villains, but
I am.
But I'm here for a more realistic balance inside of a person in the world that he's in, where you're fighting for your life. You can have a higher sense of morality when you're just in a normal world because there's nothing that much that you have to confront that would force you to go against those thoughts. But in this world, it's just not possible. But I do want to move away from Mirai.
Okay.
And speak about Mesa. She actually had similar beliefs to Metropoliman. She said, how could someone that has all of this wealth and status still lose? And of course, she forgot that death comes for everybody equally. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, good or bad, wealthy or poor. Death is going to come for everyone.
Yep.
So regardless, that's not going... I mean, yes, it did give him a lot of advantages because he was able to do a lot more stuff than the other candidates were. And if he wasn't so unhinged, he probably could have actually won.
But he would have been a good candidate.
And also, Mesa seemed very upset that the human that she had helped had actually passed away. And she said something like, again, I'm doing this, I'm taking a dead person yet again. But she doesn't seem upset about people dying in general. So I actually thought that was really interesting about her character. And it's such a shame that now we're not going to really see her anymore. Because I feel like her character, based on her thought processes, had a lot more to give.
We'll probably see her at the after party. You know what it's like. Every reality show has an after party at the end where they all come back together, and I'm guessing all the souls and the real candidates that are alive will all sit down and have a chit chat.
On that note, thank you so much for watching it to this point. If you did,
don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Peace.